Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, I have started discussing with you people about Ramzan. It is one of the rukun of the Islam amongst the five arkan, and a Muslim he has to fast during the holy month of Ramzan. Now, talking about the technicalities of fasting in Ramzan, as I said in my previous lecture, the first Ramzan it starts soon after the Asr prayers of the day just before Ramzan, and the Taraweeh it has to be offered for the very next day. It starts the Taraweeh starts when it is the tomorrow is the first day of Ramzan. Then today night the first Taraweeh has to be offered, and when tomorrow it is going to be Eid, then the Taraweeh it has not to be offered. So Ramzan, uh, the niyyah or the intention in the heart, it is important. There are also words for it as per Sunnah. One can also recite those words, but the main thing is that the intention within the heart that tomorrow I'm going to fast the first Ramzan Rosa. So it had to be made before the fasting starts for the other day. Now many people living which I have seen in my localities, they do not stop eating or drinking until either the muezzin has finished the azan or even when the muezzin has started the azan. But the technical point is that Ramzan, the time of fasting, it begins before the azan of Fajr is said. So when the Muazzin start reciting the azan for Fajr, the fasting it starts a couple of minutes before that time, because the azan for Fajr Salah it has to be said or recited when the time of Fajr it enters. So if the time of Fajr has entered, then a Muslim cannot eat or drink. So a Muslim has to consult with the ulama and with the scholars of his locality as to what is the time when Fajr start and what is the time that I have to stop eating and drinking for fasting in Ramzan. Because different localities they have different timings as per depending upon when the sun rays and when all these the change that it happens. So a Muslim has to be cautious that he has to stop eating and drinking a couple of minutes before the azan for Fajr is being said. Here in Pakistan, it is usually a siren that is being rung from the masajid. That is a caution that now you people stop eating and drinking. It is just a sign. So the people then finish up their sehri and get prepared for Fajr. So when the Fajr starts, then the Muslim has to pray Fajr Salah, because Salah it comes before Ramzan. Salah is a order from Allah from Allah Almighty that is superior to Ramzan, and Ramzan is having its own importance. But the Salah it has to be offered. Usually after the Fajr Salah, people in the Muslim countries they then go to bed and fall asleep because during night time they have Taraweeh or they have tahajjud, and they most of the people they spend night reciting the Quran. So after Fajr they fall asleep, and then before Zuhr prayers the Muslims get up. One can get up at any time as per his choice. It is not mandatory that one has to sleep after Fajr prayer, but since the body need that sleep, that is why they fall asleep. So in Ramzan, what has to be taken care of, that all the commands of Allah Almighty it is to be taken care of. For example, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if a person is not taking care of the awamir and nawahi during the Ramzan, then Allah do not need him that he should be, not eating and drinking anything during the Ramzan. So it is a warning, and it is a caution for those people who do not refrain from haram during the Ramzan, and who just go on to break the commands of Allah Almighty and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is a warning for them that Allah do not want them to keep themselves thirsty and in the want of food. So that hadith does not mean that if a person is disobeying Allah, he should also eat and drink, but it is showing the intensity of the acts that he is doing. So in Ramzan, the Muslims who fall asleep all the day, after Sahri, they go to bed and then they are lying on the bed, and near Iftar they get up, or after the Asr prayer they get up, rubbing their eyes and getting themselves prepared for Iftari. This is just joke. So Ramzan is preparation. You have to offer prayers. That is the first and foremost thing. Then thereafter, you have to keep your mouth shut from ghiba, or from the backbiting of your Muslim brothers and sisters, and you have to keep your mouth shut from uttering bad words, or or telling lies, or galam galoj and all these things, and you calling other Muslim brothers with bad names. This has to be stopped in Ramzan. Similarly, hearing backbiting or riba, that also comes in it. That one has to refrain from those things. Similarly, if one is shopkeeper, then in his shop, what he has to do is that he has to do his business as per Sunnah and as per the commands of Allah Almighty. If there is a defect in his product, then he has to say to the customer that this product is that much defective. And if the person is weighing something and measuring something and giving to the customer, then the weigh and the measure, it should be up to the standard. For example, a shopkeeper, he is not to give less thing for greater price that he has offered. Similarly, while measuring clothes, the clothes that we wear, this shalwar kameez, it is made from loose cloth. So what shopkeepers do is that they just pull that meter stick too much, that some centimeters or something, it is left from the side of the customer towards the shopkeeper. So that is also haram. And some shopkeeper, there are two standards of measuring clothes. One is called guz and the other is called meter. The meter is 100 centimeters, and that is and the one that is called guz, it is shorter than 100 centimeters or a full meter. So if a shopkeeper, he's selling clothes, then he said that it is I'm going to give you 4 meter cloth for such a price. 4 meters is the standard cloth for which a man like me, the clothes can be prepared. So if he said that it is the price of meter, and then he measure the cloth with the help of gauze, then that thing goes to be haram. So haram and halal, it is to be taken care of. And while making iftar, or the time when the azan for maghrib, it has been said, everything has to be prepared, and you have to sit on the near to your iftar, and you have to make dua from Allah Almighty. uh, Allah Almighty, He said that He accept the supplication or the dua of His servant, which is being asked from Allah Almighty at the time of iftar. As you all know that when it is month end, or when it is, for example, someone has done his job and now he is going to get the reward or whatever, then the person giving the reward, or the employer, he is pleased with the servant. So when a person, he has fasted all the day for Allah Almighty, he has not eaten or drink anything, he has not eaten or drink anything. For example, this room, it does not contain anyone else except a person and Allah Almighty and Kiram Katibin. So when sitting in a room that is having no one, the Muslim does not eat nor drink, anything. So this fasting, it is for Allah Almighty, and the Muslim take care of this fasting even when they are in a dark, even when they are in a lonely place or in a lonely room. So that fasting is a practice that in practical life, when you're alone or lonely or in a lonely room, you have to take care of the commands of Allah Almighty as you take care of fasting for Allah Almighty. So it is a message and it is a rehearsal for practicing on the commands of Allah Almighty. So at the time of iftar, a Muslim, he pray to Allah Almighty whatever he want to pray. He can adopt the standard practice of first of all praising Allah Almighty, and thereafter sending the rood on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and thereafter putting his worries and his wants and needs and all these things in front of Allah Almighty for his blessing. And whatever problem he or she is having, that Muslim servant, he is to ask Allah Almighty for each and everything, so that Allah Almighty Allah Almighty respond to the dua or supplication, and may solve the matter in any of the three ways which I discussed in the dua section of the namaz, which is the last section of my video. So every supplication is answered by Allah Almighty, and thereafter, after after it is Maghrib prayer, and and at some places in cities, people usually take meal before Maghrib prayer, and in villages in Pakistan, people take meal after Maghrib prayer. So any of the option can be adopted. But it should also be seen that Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to offer the Maghrib prayer in a hurry. As soon as the azan is said, the first thing that is to be done is to make the iftar, because Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he make the iftar sooner. As soon as the azan is being said for Maghrib, then the iftar, it should not be belated. And for Maghrib prayer, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he Sallallahu said that the Maghrib prayer, it had to be offered earlier. So after meals and all these things, then comes the Isha prayers, and in Isha prayers in Ramzan, as I said, it is Taraweeh that the Muslim offer for Allah Almighty. So that Taraweeh, as per the decision made during the time of Khalifa Rashid Umar bin Khattab Raziyallahu anhu, all the Sahaba Karam Raziyallahu anhum Ajmain, they were collected, and 20 rakahs of Taraweeh they were offered, and none from amongst the Sahaba Raziyallahu anhum Ajmain, they objected to that thing. So then a standard of 20 rakah of Taraweeh, it has been established in this ummah, and all the ummah who follow the footsteps of Prophet Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the footsteps of Khulafai Rashideen, they adopt that way. Because to be from amongst the successful people, the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the way of Khulafai Rashideen Raziyallahu anhum Ajmain, it has to be followed. So the Muslim practice those things, and it is also Sunnah to finish the Quran at least once in Taraweeh, and then during night time, Muslim can either go to sleep, because Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to go to sleep early to bed, and it is preferable and advisable to get up during at the Tahajjud time also, not in normal days too, and during Ramadan especially, because the time of Tahajjud, it is the time that Allah Almighty also accept the prayers or supplications of His servant. So these were technical things about Ramzan, and for Muslim females in Hanafi Maslak, the Maslak that I follow, it is permissible that if the wife is preparing food and the husband, he's too much a person that he for in case of food matters, he is too much strict. And for example, if the salt is small, or if the salt is too much, or if the juice that is prepared for iftari, it is either having little sugar or sweetness, or it is having too much sweetness or sugar, then for that female only, it is not for everyone. First of all, that female can adopt a practice. If there is a kid, he may ask the kid to come and just taste the food, that how it is. is the salt okay, is the sweetness and all these things okay. So the kid can taste it, who is not fasting. And if there is no kid, then that female only, she is having the option under Hanafi Maslik. What she has to do is that she has to take she has not to swallow the food. She has just to take just a slice or just little bit of it on the fingertip and put it on her tongue, so as to just to taste how whether the salt or the sweetness is okay or not. And when she has tasted it, then she has to spit it and have kulli, or wash her mouth, that nothing goes inside her body as a result of such test. So it is allowed because Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, he used to say that obeying the husband by a Muslim wife, it is also obligatory. So he is giving this room, but it is only for the taste. It should not be interpreted as taking bite of food and swallowing it and then saying yes, the salt is okay. This will just be a joke. What is the practice is that only just that unseeable thing, that is to be taken for taste only. So this is all about the technicalities of Ramzan, and the message of this holy month is practice all the commands of Allah Almighty. Hope you get my message. Inshallah, in the next lecture, I'll talk about other things about Eid al-Fitr and about the etikaf that Muslims do. So, about Quran, etikaf, and Eid al-Fitr, I will be talking in the next lecture. Jazakallah khair.